Let's just open Autocad and then we're just going to start with a new file. Let's just quickly introduce this interface and learn how to quickly create objects and select them. When you open Autocad, and there are two main versions of Autocad. There's the full version and there's the light version. If you are using the light one, it's going to be called Autocad LT, which stands for light, followed by the version which is 2024, 2025. So this is the interface of Autocad. In the middle of the screen, you're going to find all of the previous files and all of the previous projects that you have worked on before. When you install Autocad for the first time, you're just going to find an empty screen. You won't find any project. On the left-hand side, this is where you can create a new one. And on the top, there is the main ribbon. If you are using Mac, this ribbon will be split in two pieces, one on the left-hand side and one on the right-hand side. On Windows, it's on the top of your screen right there, but exactly the same interface and the same sections, more or less. So let's create a new file. If you click on this one beside the new one, you can create or choose from templates, or I prefer to click on the green, the red icon on the top left of the screen. Then click on new, and this will take you to a template folder. Template is simply an empty file, but it has some extra features that I'm gonna explain later on. But what you want to do is you want to select the ACAD ISO template. So this is a millimeter template. It's a millimeter file. All of the units are set to millimeters, and it has some dimension styles and text style set to the ISO standard. Right now, we're just gonna use it as an empty file. It doesn't have anything. This is the interface of AutoCAD when you open a CAD project. So this is called the model space. This black area right there is called the model space. This is where all of the drawings in this file would be placed. We don't have several model spaces. It's just one. You just add all of your drawings in one, or you separate them into different files. If you are using Mac, you're going to find this properties panel on the right-hand side of your screen. You might not find it if you install or if you're just using AutoCAD for the first time. That's totally fine. I'm going to show you how to bring it up. For Windows, you have a command line at the bottom of your screen, this one right there. You're gonna find it look like this in front of you, but you can actually grab it from these dots on the left-hand side and dock it to the bottom of your screen. I prefer to make it at least 3 or 4 lines. The command toolbar is how you communicate with AutoCAD. If you write a command, it's gonna show up right there. You ask AutoCAD for an information, it's gonna write it down in this command line. For Mac, it's just one line. You cannot change its size, but there is a small arrow on the right-hand side, expands it into more lines if you want to. You're going to find it, if it looks like this, there's a small arrow right there. When you click on it, it expands the arrow for you. So if you want to, if you prefer keeping it like this, you can do, but I like to dock it like that. You don't have the properties, that's fine. I'm going to show you how to bring it up later on. Also, when you install AutoCAD for the first time, you will have a dark background, but not fully black. I prefer to make it fully black, much more better for your eyes. You're going to be spending a lot of hours in front of it. So a black or a dark screen is much more better. And also it increases the contrast with the objects. To do that, if you are using Windows, just right click and then choose options. If you are using Mac, right click and then choose preferences. Under the display tab, you can go to colors and then make sure that the color of the background is set to black. So under the display tab, there is a button called colors, this one, not the color scheme, colors right there. And then the color by default in the studio should be set to black, but if you install for the first time, you change it from here to make it fully black. Then you click apply and close, then click OK, that's it. Let's quickly learn how to navigate into the file. So if you want guys to navigate left and right, you click and hold the wheel button like this, and it changes your crosshair to this hand shape. So this fixes this point on the screen. So if you move this hand to the left, it brings what's on the right and the other way around, and also up and down. If you don't have enough space, you just release and then grab another one and do it again. So when you reach the end of your screen, you can just grab another one and back again. You also use the wheel button to zoom in or zoom out. So you scroll down, you zoom out, you scroll up, you zoom in. That's how you simply navigate into the file. That's how you use the wheel button. Right click is used to access menus like this, and it will change depending if you have an object selected or not. Right now we have fewer objects. Left click is used for selection and creating objects, as we're going to do right now. And then using the left click of your mouse, you can just fix it like this and move left and right. Like this. Now, AutoCAD uses shortcuts to use any command that we're going to use or any object that we're going to create. So we have different sections that we're going to cover one by one. So the draw section is where you're going to find anything you need to draw from scratch, creating objects, basic objects, lines, circles. I'm going to go through them one by one. The modify section is where you modify existing objects. You should have objects firstly to modify them, move them, rotate them, trim them, join them. Annotation is where you create annotations. Layers are going to be found on Mac, are going to be found on the right hand side. And we have some other blocks and properties, but these are the 3 or 4 main sections that we're going to use. On Mac, you're going to find all of these in a vertical panel on the left hand side, but they are more or less the same. I rarely use these commands by clicking on the buttons because I use shortcuts. Shortcuts is substantial on AutoCAD. They're quite a lot, but they're quite easy to memorize as well. They are usually like the first letter, 2 letters, or 3 letters of the command you want to use. Line, you just write down L, enter, and you are in the line command. Circle, it's C, enter, and so on. They might overlap, so you might need to write down more than 1 letter, but don't worry, when we practice throughout the course, you're going to memorize most of them. In the resources folder, I have an A4 sheet that has most of the commands. You can print it out later on, keep it on the side. You can just use it as a reference. If you want to create a line, you can click on the line right there, and you will find in the command line right now that it's not empty anymore. You're going to find at the bottom left of your screen that you are currently in the line command. That's one way to know if you are in an active command or not. If you press escape, it cancels the commands. And as you can see, it's asking you to type a command. But if you are in a command, it's going to show you in uppercase the name of the command that you are currently using or that's currently active. So if you write down L, enter again, now you are back again to the line command. Now let's create a couple of lines. Line is a continuous command, so always read the prompt beside the crosshair. It's going to tell you what you need to do next. Click. You don't click and drag in AutoCAD. You click once and then you release the left click and then you move your mouse. So click and release and then click again. That's a line. You move, click again. It's a continuous command, so it will keep creating lines until you end it. Don't think about it. Don't try to create something that makes sense. Just randomly create lines like this. I want you to get used to it. Break the ice with the software. Once you're done, you want to end your command, you can either press enter or space. They are exactly the same in AutoCAD. I prefer space, closer to my left hand, and there you go. You want to start another line, you have 2 options, either L, enter, or space or enter will repeat the last command that you have just ended. So if you press space again, it repeats the line command again, and now you're back again into the line command. So I can draw one line like this, space to end, space to repeat. 1, 2, space to end, space to repeat. It makes it much more faster than using the command by clicking on the button and clicking again. So space ends your current command and repeats the last one once you finish your current one. If you want to cancel the command, you don't want to continue anymore, you can just press escape a couple of times and it will just cancel your current command. Let's create a circle. Circle is not a continuous command, but you just need to create it in 2 steps. Circle is just right there, or you can just write down C, space, or enter. You click somewhere to specify the center point of the circle. You move your hand, you click again to define the radius. We're not creating with any dimensions right now. Later on, I'm going to show you how to do that, but space creates another circle, click, move, and then click. Space to repeat. Try to create as much as you can in short time. And there you go. This is, we work in a 2D coordinate system. So the corner you see right there, this corner right there is the origin file. That's the 00 X and Y. So if you are on the top right side of this one, you are just in the positive X and Y quadrant or region, which is doesn't make any much of a difference unless your project is linked to like a survey drawing on site or linked to coordinates. But otherwise, just feel free to draw anywhere. Let's create a rectangle, guys. It's not R, it's not RE. These are two different commands. It's REC. So quickly REC, that's the rectangle command. It's corner to corner. So you specify the first corner, you go to the other one. Again, don't click and drag. Always click once, release, move, click again. You have 4 directions to create your rectangle. You can go to the top right, you can go to the top left, bottom right. So make sure before you click the second time that you pick the right place. REC, enter, corner to corner. You don't have to press space to end it. It just ends right away. It's a one action command. It's not like the line. It's like the circle. It just creates one and it ends right away. Bring out the artist side of you, yeah? That's modern art, guys. Don't think about it, just scribble.
So when it's green, when it's highlighted green, what does that mean?
What's highlighted? This one?
Yeah.
That's the selection. That's not an object. I'm gonna explain it exactly in 5 minutes. That's selecting objects. This is not a rectangle, actually. If you have a look right there at the bottom, it's asking you to specify opposite corners. It's not a rectangle. To make sure you are in a rectangle command, this one should say rectangle at the bottom left right here in the command line. If it's not, then you're not probably in the command. You just need to type in REC. That's the rectangle. If not, then you're just probably making a window selection.
After you finish every rectangle, you then have to hit space again, right, to do it again?
Space to repeat the rectangle again, yeah. Let's create an arc. A, enter. You click on 3 random points and it just connects them with an arc. There are a lot of other methods that you can use, but this is like the basic one. A, enter. 1, 2, 3. Smiley faces, brown faces. Yeah, just a couple of arcs. I'm going to show you better ways to create arcs later on using radiuses and start and end points. Now, selection. After you've created your objects, you want to learn how to select them because you need to select your objects in order to modify them, move them, trim them, delete them even. So to select an object, you have 2 methods. Either the single selection method, where you just simply hover over an object. Right now, this feature is turned off on my PC, but if you hover over an object, you're going to find that it's highlighting. Yeah. Once you click, it selects the highlighted object. If you select another one, if you hover over another one, do you see this small plus sign beside the crosshair? This means that it's going to be added to your selection if you click on it. If you are using Mac, you might need to hold Shift on your keyboard to select it. I think in the latest one, they turned off this feature by default. But on Windows, you don't need to click on anything, press on anything. You just need to click on the next one, and you're just going to select the object you have clicked on. If you have objects selected like this, and you press and hold Shift, this is for Windows and Mac, while holding Shift, if you click on an a selected object, you see the minus sign, it removes it from your selection. So you don't need to cancel your selection if by mistake you selected the wrong object. I want to deselect or unselect this one, just while holding Shift. Release the Shift, you are back again to adding to your selection. Okay, what if I want to select 100 objects? Do I need to click 100 times? Definitely not. This is where we use the group selection. It's like when you select several files in your folder. You just make a window that selects all of them, but we don't click and drag. We just click somewhere and then release. If you press Escape, it cancels all of your currently selected objects. In the window selection, you don't click on an object, you just click beside the object. You have 2 different frames. If you click from right to left, it creates a green dotted frame. If you click from left to right, it creates a solid blue frame. Green simply, you don't need to cover all of the object. You just need to intersect with the object and then click again. It selects the objects that intersects with the green frame. So if I intersect with more than one object like this, and then I click again, it selects all of the objects that this frame intersected with. One more time, you don't click on the object, you click somewhere beside the objects, preferably on the top left corner or the top right corner. But if you're gonna make a green selection, it should be from right to left. And then you click one more time, it selects all of them. What if it's a blue selection? If you do it from left to right, either the top left or the bottom left, and you intersect with an object, it doesn't select it. You need to cover the whole object in order to select it. So green, intersect with even a millimeter of the object, it selects the whole thing. Blue, you need to cover the whole thing.
Okay.
So you just make a blue selection and just highlight this one. And it could be more than one, it could be more of them. In more cases, it's going to make much more sense later on. Yeah. Now, when you select an object, you can check the properties of this object. Right now, you might not have the properties panel showing up, but that's totally fine. On Mac, it's by default on the right-hand side. So when you select an object, it shows you the properties of this object. On Windows, you need to activate the properties panel to see it. So if you write down prop on your keyboard and then press enter, it brings up the properties panel. And I prefer to dock it to the right-hand side. It might be floating like this. If you just grab it from the dark ribbon right there and dock it to the right-hand side of your screen, it's going to show you all of the properties of the either selected objects or of your current file. Right now, it says no selection. So it's showing you the general properties of the file itself, like the current layer that's being used, the current color, and so on and so forth. But when you select an object, when you click on an object right there, a single object, it shows you the type of this object. It shows you some other geometric properties about this object. So if you select a rectangle in AutoCAD once created, it's called polyline. It's a bunch of connected lines. Poly means more than one. So there are more than one line connected together. And right there, you can check the area and check the length of this one. So you want to know the area and the length of your objects. You're going to find them right there in millimeters. That's why we have a lot of digits right there, depending on the scale you're currently using. If it's a gray value like this, it means it's not editable. You cannot click it. It's just to give you information. But if it's white, it means you can change it. So for example, if I press escape and select this circle, I can find the radius of this circle. I can find the diameter of this circle. All of these are changeable or editable because they are white. So if I go right there and I want to change the radius, I can write down the new radius and press enter, and it updates the object right away. These properties will change depending on the type of object you have selected. If you select more than one type, it's not going to show you any of the geometric properties. It's just going to show you the count. So I have all, because it's mixed up right now, I have different objects, but I have the count between brackets. I have 63 objects selected right now. You open this list, it shows you the count of each and every type: 35, 9, 4, and 15. But again, it's a bit tricky for AutoCAD to show you the geometric property of more than one object. So you need to select just one object that you want to check, and it shows you the geometric properties. Let's delete a couple of objects. Let's make a group selection like this. If you want to delete any object, it's either enter, or much more easy just to press delete on your keyboard and it just deletes the objects.
Oh.
It's not the backspace, it's this delete. I made a mistake. I want to go back one step. It's the universal command, Control Z if you're using Windows, or Command Z if you're using Mac. And it doesn't have a limit. It's going to take you all the way to the Big Bang, yeah? It takes you all the way back since you've opened this file. So it doesn't have a limit like Photoshop, for example. So it just goes all the way back. So if I hold Control and press Z a couple of times, it takes you all the way back. And if you don't interrupt this undo, you can redo actually. If you can see that the redo is activated right there, there's a small arrow on the top right there. It's not showing up on the projector, but it's this one, undo and redo. If the redo is on, then you can press Control Y and it takes you steps forwards. If you want to save your file, it's Control S. If you are saving it for the first time, it's going to open a window showing you where you want to save it. And all of the CAD files are saved in a .dwg. We're not going to save this one, but it's saved in a .dwg. And as you can see, all of them could be open or can be open on a 2018 version. DWG, if you find any file like this online or if someone sent it to you, you can easily open or just open it right away in Autocad. Let's close this file and let's open our first exercise.